Hello. So I've literally not posted on this channel since like 10 years ago. But yeah. So I will not recommend you look at my old videos. Not that these will be any better, but please just anyway, this video will probably be a little hard for me to film because it's a very sensitive topic for me. It's something that's hard for me to talk about, and I might, if I cry, I will take out the clip. So don't worry about crying, watching me cry. I have contact lenses anyway, so I can't cry. Actually, I don't know. Can you cry with contact lenses on? I've actually just recently started wearing them, so, and these are off topic, but I'm in Korea, and these lenses are from here, and you can't almost like not notice them, but yeah. Anyway, that's like has nothing to do with what I'm gonna talk about. I guess I'm trying to like avoid the topic. All right, so I worked in the hospital as a CCT nurse assistant, CNA, whatever you know them as, for like 5, I think almost 6 years, honestly, since I was 19. And before that, I didn't really I only had like 1 year of like experience working, because obviously I had just turned 18, so I had like a year. Oh yeah, so then I started when I was 19, and because I had a year experience of working, so it really was like one of my first actual real jobs. So to say that nursing was everything to me, I think is a pretty accurate statement, because I mean, I didn't work all the time because I did also go to school, obviously, but there was times where I did work quite a lot because I needed to, you know, save up money for my tuition. I paid my tuition out of pocket, and I just knew I learned so much. To say that I regret anything, I can't say I do, but because I am glad that I did learn a lot. And I didn't even mention what department I worked in. Jeez, look at me. I worked in the ICU, and in the hospital I was working at, if they were understaffed at another unit, we were floated, as they call it in the hospital, to that unit. And that would happen quite a lot for us because we had a lot of personnel, I guess you can say. And so I've worked in every single department that you can think of. The only one I haven't worked in is mother baby, OR, PACU. Wait, did I work it? Oh no, I almost worked at PACU one time, but I didn't. In ER, because there were like specialty units that we were not floated to. But I was floated in the ER for, I mean, obviously many times, for like one-to-ones. One-to-ones are, it's funny how I even feel weird having to explain all this terminology, because all of my friends that I had at the time, even now I still have, all like worked in a hospital or like were in nursing school. Like everyone around me, like even my mother had also worked at a hospital. Like everyone in my circle was just nursing hospital people. So that's what made it even more like impactful thing for me in my life. I guess you can say it in my adult life. But yeah, basically I have worked in all departments, and we were in my hospital. I heard it's not like this in every hospital, but we were given one-to-ones a lot, which is when you have to sit with a patient, whether it's because they are on suicide watch or because they are very, we call it confused, meaning they are disoriented. For many reasons they could be disoriented, but if they are disoriented, a lot of times it's dangerous because they can get up really quickly and fall, or they can just hurt themselves in any other way, not purposely obviously, but the point is to watch them to make sure. A lot of the times it's older patients, to make sure that they don't, fall and break something. So basically I'm just talking about my background to whoever's watching can understand that it's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't want to say, because I've only worked at one hospital. Also, I don't know how, I mean, like I said, I have friends and I've met many people who've worked at different hospitals. So I obviously I haven't, so I can't say that I can speak for every hospital, but my experience is my experience, I guess. So take it as you will. But anyway, so working in a hospital was a lot to learn, but I think I'm a pretty quick learner, and also I had that pressure that I felt like I needed to learn everything and like know where everything goes, know what everything's called, and like if I ever needed help I would ask. Anyway, basically it was always a learning experience, always learning something new every day, always something new, to a new challenge. So in that aspect I did enjoy it because I liked having to have new challenges every day. I liked to have I guess a new work day. Like I wouldn't obviously know what like my day would look like until, because you don't know. Like one moment you may be like sitting down not doing much, and then by the next hour you could be like running around crazy because you have like a million new patients. But anyway, so obviously if I worked there for that long and if I went to nursing school, you probably have found out that yes, I didn't enjoy nursing in many aspects, and even now I can't say that I don't like it. Anyway, so basically I was taking my courses to get into nursing school, and I did really well. Obviously those courses are a lot easier, for lack of a better term. They are like I had a really good GPA, and that's how I got into nursing school. And anyway, everything was fine and dandy. Then COVID hit. I was in my second semester. Oh, I forgot to mention, I was in a 2-year program. So my first semester I did really well. Second semester, that's when COVID hit. It's so funny because in the beginning of my semester I did really well, and then as soon as COVID hit is when I started to obviously the content was also harder, but anyway. So I don't want this video to be a million hours long because it's already going to be 10 minutes. So I will try to summarize. Long story short, 2020 was a horrible year for me, as you can probably imagine, and I'm pretty sure, I don't think there's many people who can say it was a good year. Maybe, I think I've heard of people say that it was a good year online, but it wasn't for me, because being that my life was nursing in hospital, my life was revolved around COVID, and everything in my life had been impacted by COVID, basically. Meaning, at school, I had to do everything online, and whenever we did have to go to school, it was a whole fucking hassle to even go there. And I had clinicals. Oh wait, that's something never mind, I didn't have clinicals. That's actually something to mention. They were canceled because of COVID, and they were online. How do we have clinicals online? Good question. Yeah, you can imagine. Like, I don't know, the first thing that came to my mind is like Sims. No, I've never played Sims, so I don't even know, but basically you press a button and be like, okay, check blood pressure, okay, sit patient up, okay, medicine, okay, press the button to give medicine. Okay, that's what it was. Anyway, so yeah, my life was shitty, to say the least, because not just because of that, but because I think the biggest aspect of it was the fact that I was working in the ICU, and it was a struggle, and I'm pretty sure many people can relate to me. I'm not the only one saying this. It was a fucking struggle. It was scary. It was like a war zone every time I got into work. At the time, I thought I wasn't like affected by it, but looking back, I definitely was. I was just trying to be strong, and I was trying to push on because I wanted to. I know for me to say that I wanted to help my coworkers and not say I wanted to help the patients, I obviously wanted to help the patients, but for some reason I felt like I had this responsibility to be at my department, at my unit, helping my coworkers, my fellow nurses, my fellow techs, just everyone, because we were a team, and every time I would come into work, I saw how much they struggled, and I felt like it was my duty almost to be coming into work and helping them. And I know it may sound kind of dumb, but I did start to like try to work more during that time, pick up more shifts, whatever. And I was in school. So yeah, it wasn't the best idea, but at the time I wanted to. I wanted to help. It was just crazy. I would walk into work, and they would be like, oh, you know, so and so. Yeah. Oh, they passed away last night. Okay. Oh, you know, so and so. Yeah. They coded like right after you left. Oh, okay. So it's almost like the more you work, the more you are emotionally attached to the job. And I don't know. At the time, I was very autopilot, I guess you can say. I don't know how else to say it. But I was on autopilot during that time, I feel, because these things would happen, yeah, but I would think, oh, but you know, that happens because, you know, obviously I had seen deaths before, and I had seen, but like obviously not to this level. But I think I was just trying for my own sake to not think about it too much and not see it as like, oh my god, like this is fucking crazy, because I think I would lose my shit. But it was crazy. It's so funny because I usually try not to think back to that time because I don't like thinking about it. So right now I'm trying to think back to it, and just thinking back to it kind of like makes me anxious. You guys can't see, but I'm just starting to get jittery. I have anxiety problems, so okay. I'm gonna calm down. Deep breaths. Okay. So, the bodies in the coolers, that was something new. All the trucks, something new that I hadn't experienced before COVID. There was literally no space for the bodies at the morgue that we have downstairs. So we had a big truck where we would take them to, which obviously is also a little traumatic mentally, but something that many of you may not know is that it's also physically, at least for us at my hospital, because we would have to take the patient on the stretcher, well, the body on the stretcher, all the way to the fucking other side of whatever, because obviously the truck was outside. So we would have to take the patient all the way there and bring it onto the truck. All of that was like, and I mean, this is probably just an issue I had in my hospital, because I know that other hospitals, they have personnel who bring the bodies down, usually like patient transporters or whatever. But anyway, I'm just explaining my experience, obviously, as you guys know. But anyway, so can you guys, like, this is the only thing I can, like, can you guys imagine wearing PPE, like the gown, N95, mask on top, hair cap, shield, double gloved, foot thingies, and working out in that? No, you probably wouldn't want to do that, right? Well, we had pretty big patients sometimes, and obviously I'm working at the ICU, so these patients are on ventilators, meaning they're sedated to be on ventilation. So in order to clean them when they went number 2, we in nursing, you know, you roll over the patient side to side, and that sounds easy, right? But mind you, we're wearing all that, and it's 2 people. Let's say me. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm not exactly like a bodybuilder. So me and, let's say, a nurse. Most nurses are maybe the same as me. Like, I'm not saying the same as me. Like, physically, we are the same size usually. And it doesn't even matter about size. It's just like we're rolling people over, sweating so much under these gowns because they're plastic and they're against their skin, and there's like, you can probably imagine. It's just like a combination of stuff, because it wasn't just that, it was the fear of obviously catching the virus as well, which is funny how that's like at the end of my list of like things that were crazy about COVID. But obviously we were cleaning everything like that came out of the rooms, washing your hands all the time, alcohol on our hands until they were dried as fuck, until like they started to like, well, not mine because mine are always moist, but people would complain a lot about their hands being really dry. It's just a combination of so many things, and I won't ramble anymore because you get the deal. But anyway, let's go on to nursing school. I really don't want to talk about this. Okay. Nursing school was hard because I feel like I've always had a lot of self-esteem issues. And nursing school, honestly, like, so let's say my self-esteem was here. It brought it down to here, if not lower. Yeah, that's what happened. And because I felt stupid, I felt like my professors would constantly question me and thought I was stupid. There were other students who, if you didn't get a certain grade, thought you were stupid. It's just like such a, like, it's almost like a competition where everyone's like looking at each other's grades. Everyone's like seeing who's the better whatever, which is so fucking stupid, because I told you I've worked 5 to 6 years, whatever, at the hospital. So you would think that maybe I know a thing or two, or maybe I'm pretty decent with patients. But according to nursing school, no. According to nursing school, I'm a shitty person and I shouldn't even be a nurse. I guess that's to be like, to keep it short, that's basically how I felt all the time in nursing school. The instructors were never encouraging. I can't say not all of them, because I did have a few who were very, very kind and who were very understanding that I was a student and that if I made a mistake, you can always try again, you're a student. But there were a few who literally purposely try to make my life a living hell. And that was what happened my last semester mostly. Because in your last semester, their excuse was, well, you only have 3 months until you guys are nurses, so you guys should be able to do everything. You guys should be able to know all these medications by memory, know their side effects. You guys should be able to do that, do this, do that. Like, bro, like, we were in COVID times. We didn't have clinicals. We haven't even been taught X and Y. Like, all this shit we haven't been taught. They just throw the exam at us sometimes without even teaching us everything on the exam. Anyway, that's a whole fucking other thing that I'm not gonna get to, because fuck that. But it's just, I think my brain is like, no, don't think about it. Put it back inside, deep in there. Like, push it back into your brain all the way back where you don't think about it. Anyway, but I feel like I really am a hustler. I am not a weak bitch, okay? I may be a very empathetic person and sensitive at times, but I am not a weak person whatsoever. Like, everything I have gone through, I have accepted it, and I adjust quickly to things, to change. I take the challenges and I do them, you know? So it didn't make me quit. But guess what? There's something called mental health. And that is not exactly in my control. Well, it is, but at the time not really, because it had gotten to the point of being like lower than low, or badder than bad, or I don't know, fuck that. Anyway, my mental health is really the only thing that stopped me, because my thoughts, the way I felt, everything was very, very shitty. And if you guys don't know what it's like to have depression, the only way I can explain it is a dark cloud over your head, and it's raining, and like what's raining are like negative thoughts coming into and they're like going straight into your brain. It's funny because that's just the mental image I had. As you can tell, I'm probably more an artistic person than anything. And anyway, that's probably for the end of the video. It's already fucking long, the video. But that's how it is. And I literally would wake up some days and be upset that I woke up. Like, I know I'm being like so nonchalant about talking about this, but it's only because I'm trying not to cry, and I don't want to cry. But there were days I went to bed and I hoped I didn't get up, and there were times where I would like have to try so hard to get myself out of bed because I needed to study. Sometimes I couldn't get myself out of bed. I still couldn't. Even if I gave it my all to get out, I couldn't get up. Alongside that, I had anxiety, of course. Anxiety of like, oh my God, I'm gonna fail. Oh my God, I'm gonna disappoint parents. Oh my God, I'm gonna disappoint the whole world. Oh my God, everyone is rooting for me. Everyone wants me to do nursing. Everyone wants me to be a nurse. Like, mind you, everyone at my job loved me and would tell me all the time that I would be a great nurse. And that was another thing that would motivate me, but it was also something that would keep me like pushing and being like, okay, this is going wrong. Well, I need to continue. And even though my mental health was that bad, I still told myself I need to continue. Basically, there were so many things I didn't like about nursing, but I just put up with them. And I just said, well, it is what it is. Whatever. But obviously it wasn't whatever, because it was fucking affecting my mental health, because I knew these things that were going on. And it's just a fucking long list. Okay? Nurses not getting paid enough for the shit they do. Nurses not being appreciated enough by anybody, by doctors, not by patients, not by family members. Like, literally, nurses have started to get like more appreciation now because of COVID, but before that, zero. Have you watched, I mean, I haven't watched any medical shows. I wonder why. Well, you probably know why. But if you watch medical shows, who shows up and takes care of the patient? The doctor. Guess what? In real life, doctors are never there. They're never there. They're somewhere in a corner of somewhere in the hospital, in a corner, typing away, doing like those little voice recording things. People who know hospital know what I'm talking about. But guess what? Who's there 24/7 with the patient, knows what the fuck they ate, knows how many times they shat, knows how much urine came out? The nurses. But they're the least appreciated by the hospital, most of all, because they're seen as numbers. And you know what? We were also seen as numbers. Yeah, nurses are amazing, but what about the techs, the CCTs, whatever the fuck you guys call them, CNAs, nursing assistants? We are even less appreciated than nurses because we don't have a degree, so we don't know shit, right? No. As you know, obviously, a lot of times we had to take care of the patients because the nurses weren't available because they had so much shit to deal with, so we had to be the ones to do it. So we are very knowledgeable people. If anything, we know more than new nurses know. And I know this because I was in nursing school and I was also working in hospital for a long time. So I can tell you, nursing school does not prepare you for the hospital. I knew a lot, but I knew it because of my experience working at the hospital. But nursing school did not teach any of that. Nursing school taught what? Like flipping pages in a book. Oh my God, okay, well, blah, 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 blah. Let's memorize that. That's what nursing school does. Yeah. And yeah, you learn how to prime the primary tubing and the whatever fuck. I'm glad I forgot that shit, because anyway, I know I'm talking a lot of shit anyway. Yeah, we learned the skills, but is that preparing you to be in the hospital? No. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine and all, but if it's not preparing us to be in the hospital, why are they expecting so much from us when it's not even going to actually help us be nurses? I don't know. And I'll never know. But anyway, this is fucking 30 minutes long now. Okay, I promise I will finish. Okay. Where were we? Where was I even talking about? This is why I think I have ADHD sometimes. But okay. Yeah, my mental health was shit. That's what I was talking about. And there was this one day, I'm gonna tell it in detail because I think it's important to know for my experience in all this that I'm talking about. I was at work and I had gotten an email from one of my professors, and I don't know if it's like this in all nursing schools, but we always had to have like our emails on, like the notifications on, to always check our emails right away, because like, you know, who knows, maybe it's a new update of something that's gonna happen. And basically, like, I think nursing students know, when you're in nursing school is your life. And yes, I know I said the hospital was my life, but nursing school took over most of it. Anyway, so I got a notification. I was at work. I checked it, obviously not in front of everybody because you can't use your phone. So I went into the break room, I checked it, and it was a very negative email saying that my clinical instructor had said that I was bad at this and bad at that, bad at everything. And me having, like I said, having worked at the hospital how many ever years, was like, oh my god, now I remember. I'm so glad I forgot this shit, because fuck it. But they said that I had been, no, it wasn't disrespectful. I don't exactly remember, but something about patient care sucked, basically, is what they said for me. And I'm like, how? Excuse me? Like, how? And I was so upset. I mean, you can imagine when you try your hardest, when you put everything into something, and someone's like, you are the dust of the earth. That's what you are. Then obviously it's gonna hurt you. Like anybody. Like, I had low self-esteem, yeah, but it would still hurt anybody. And I was upset. And my anxiety got really bad. I just felt, I don't even know what I had. Maybe a panic attack, that's what people call it. I don't know what it was. Basically a breakdown. And I couldn't be at work anymore. I couldn't. I felt like crying. I couldn't, like, I helped one of my coworkers change a patient. I literally was holding in my tears when we were doing that. And I was telling myself, you know what? I can't be at work. I can't, because I'm not okay. So I went to my manager and I was like, look, I have to go. I didn't explain anything. I was just like, I have to go. And this is my first time ever leaving my job while I'm there. I've never missed, well, okay, obviously I've called out before, but I've never missed like a day of work like that. So it was a pretty big deal, and I think she knew that. She knows me since I started. So she's like, oh, I'm sorry, okay, like, yeah, you can go. I left. You know what? That it was fucking terrible. But a few hours later, I decided to call, what are they called? Basically, I wanted to take a medical leave. And, well, I wanted to take a leave. That's the thing. Okay, so it's just so funny how things worked out for me. Because I just wanted to take, like, I think because there's different kinds of leaves that you can take. But anyway, that's too much to explain right now. But, excuse me. Basically, I wasn't able to take a regular leave. If I took a leave, I had to take a medical leave. And when I was talking to the person on the phone, they were like, oh yeah, like, well, they kind of asked me, because, like, obviously I had to tell them a little bit about it. And they were like, yeah, like, you would take a medical leave for mental health and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well, let's do that. And they sent me a fuckload of paperwork that I had to get, like, some doctor to sign and fill out. And no, I did not have a doctor for that. So, yeah. Anyway, so because of this is the only reason why I actually, like, looked for help and was trying to get help, because I needed someone to fill out my forms and all of that. And yeah, basically I found a doctor. She was like, yeah, you're fucked. She gave me meds, which I didn't expect at all. I didn't even ask her for meds. She gave me meds. She filled out the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. A month later, I come back to work because I am planning to leave because I realized hospital is not good for my mental health. Oh wait, I didn't even I skipped over something very important. I didn't pass my last semester of nursing school, as you can imagine. And yeah, so it was all shittiness upon shittiness, all this shit like just piling up. And yeah, so basically I was like, you know what, I know the cause of this. I know the cause of my mind being so sick the way it is. I know I sound what I mean by sick is like depressed. I don't mean like sick in the other way, but okay, sick meaning like I knew I needed help and that I needed to change something in my life, because if I didn't change it, I probably wouldn't even live anymore. I would probably do something to not live. So I found the cause. Nursing in general. Nursing school, nursing in the hospital. But you know what? I was still stubborn. I thought, you know what? I can quit my hospital job and just find another one. It might be better. You know what? I don't have to quit nursing school. It's gonna be fine. I just need a couple months off. Anyway, so basically, long story short, again, as I got closer to the date to go back to nursing school, or like the thought of going back to nursing school, I would have breakdowns, literally. Like, I have a lot of trauma from nursing school that I've, by this point, have probably gotten over a lot of it, but it would, just the thought of going back would make me feel terrible inside. And I know some of you may think, oh my god, you're such a lazy. No, we're not talking about laziness here. We're talking about well-being, mental well-being. And I did feel that way at first. I did feel like I was just being lazy or whatever. But no, honestly, I would do any other major, I feel, other than nursing. Just, well, obviously not anything harder than nursing, but anyway, so I made the brave decision to quit, to not go back. And I never got a hospital job. And guess what? I'm the happiest that I think I've ever been. Literally. And I'm not even just saying that. I'm literally the happiest. And guess what? I'm single. I am unemployed at the moment. There's so many things that people can be like, oh, well, you should be fucking depressed. No, I am so happy, even though I'm unemployed, even though I don't have a boyfriend, even though blah, 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 like I don't have all these things. I am so, so happy. And obviously I have my ups and downs. It hasn't been like this always. It's taken a long time for me to get here. I quit my job July. It is almost December now. So yes, it's taken me a long time. But it's made me so happy to finally be free from this. It felt like chains. It literally felt like chains. And I know I chose to put myself in that position. So, but I don't know. I wanted to share my experience a little bit. I know my experience is obviously not like everyone's not gonna feel that way about it. Like I know people who enjoy nursing. I know people who love it and who have, you know, like, I'm not saying that it's bad for everyone, although most, I would say, because at my job, that was another thing that affected my mental health. People on the regular would be like, there's no light at the end of the tunnel, no light at the end of the tunnel. There's no, basically, even if I was a nurse, even if I was done with school, there's no way I would ever be happy, is basically what a lot of the people at my job would tell me, and would complain about how they hated their job. Everyone, okay? Maybe like I said, like, remember how I said maybe some people? I've met literally three. No, I'm going to say five. Five that I can remember right now. 5 people who actually genuine, why can't I say the word? Fuck it. Can't say the word. Who actually liked their job and didn't complain like that. And you know what? I've met so many people who've been in and out, so many people who quit. Literally, we had a turnover rate that was so high that we started to have contracts because people were quitting so much. They made it to a 2-year contract for nurses who started, and then they extended it to 3-year contracts because people were fucking leaving after 2 years. So I am just sharing my experience because I remember when there were times that I felt really shitty and that I would think about not doing nursing, which is a funny thing is I wouldn't even want to think about it. I would literally push that thought to the side. But whenever there was a moment where I wanted to see how other people felt, I didn't want to feel alone. Although, you know what? I had my work family. Everyone fucking hated that place. But I wanted to hear from nursing students and people who have, so I would sometimes go on YouTube and listen to people's stories, different perspectives, and all that. So I wanted to share mine because maybe it may be something for someone, whether helpful or not helpful, or maybe it makes you want nursing more. Whatever it does, it doesn't matter to me as long as it does something. Or obviously it's also maybe like kind of like a therapy session for me as well, to let it all out. But anyway, basically something else I want to say is don't be afraid to change your life. Don't be afraid to choose differently than what everyone else is choosing. Don't be afraid to make a choice that maybe some people may not agree with. Something I learned these past months is that you are your own best friend. You have to mother yourself, almost. You have to be your own mother. You have to be your own best friend, whatever you want to say, or whatever you want to call it. No one's going to take care of you the way you do. You take care of yourself. You have to choose for yourself. You have to choose yourself always. You have to choose your happiness first, your mental health. It is the most important thing. It is more important than anything else. More important than money. More important than having a job. More important than, I don't know. You get the point. Because you can have shitty mental health and have all of these things. And what? Some people decide that they don't want to live anymore. And they do something to make them stop living. And then guess what? All of this shit they had means nothing. So, and even if someone doesn't decide to hurt themselves, they're living in an autopilot life where they are accepting things just because. They're not accepting them because it makes them happy. So, I know it's maybe a controversial thing to say because people probably have different opinions. But in my life, I have just started to do that and I am really happy. And I don't have any external things that make me happy What makes me happy is me. I'm happy because I choose to be, and I'm happy because I chose myself. Choosing myself means I find myself more important than all these other things. And that on its own has made me love myself so much more and has brought my self-esteem so much higher. So I just want to say, please choose yourself. Please think about yourself first. Anyway, thanks for listening to my TED Talk. I will be posting more videos about other stuff. Like, for example, I'm in Korea right now. And anyway, just a bunch of stuff. But I didn't want to mention them here because this is way too much already. 46 minutes. I will try to shorten it as much as I can, okay? But yeah. Anyway, hope everyone has a good day, a good night. Just keep manifesting a happy life and keep choosing yourself first. Bye-bye.